I don't remember exactly when I became a professional caregiver. Maybe it was the day my grandmother walked around the house holding the TV remote like a warm loaf of bread, asking, "Sweetie, have you seen the remote?" While it was right there in her hand. I was half shocked, half amused. I pointed and said, "Grandma, you're holding it." She glanced down, paused for a moment, and changed the subject without missing a beat. "So, is lunch ready?" That moment made me laugh at first, then it made me pause. I started noticing more signs. She'd misplace things, repeat herself, pause mid-sentence as if searching for her next thought. Alone, they seemed small. Together, they whispered something louder. My grandma was getting old. And I wasn't just her grandchild anymore. I was becoming her companion through the journey of aging. Some days, I felt like an answering machine. Not for a phone, but for Grandma. Every few hours, she'd ask, "What day is it today?" "It's Tuesday, Grandma." A few hours later, "What day is it again?" "Still Tuesday." By the fourth time, I replied in cartoon voice, "Grandma, it's still Tuesday." She giggled like it was the first time she asked. And I laughed too. Tired maybe, but more tender than annoyed. And then there were the moments of missing things that weren't missing. One day, she was in a frenzy. "I can't find my glasses. I can't see anything." We all scrambled. I asked, "Are you sure they're not nearby?" She replied, "Of course I'm sure, unless they grew legs and walked off." I looked up, and there they were, perched proudly on her head like a little crown. I didn't want to tell her too quickly, afraid she'd feel embarrassed. But when she found out, she laughed louder than I did. These little mishaps became daily comedy routines. But the more I cared for her, the more I realized this wasn't just about duty. It was about slowing down, being present, and walking alongside someone I love, even as their pace changed. Still, there were moments when laughter turned quiet, like the day Grandma picked up her phone to call my mom, while my mom was sitting right next to her. "Who are you calling, Grandma?" "I'm calling your mother. Haven't talked to her in a while." Mom gently said, "I'm right here, Mom." Grandma looked at her confused for a second, then chuckled. "Oh dear, I'm just getting old and forgetful." Everyone laughed, but I felt something tighten inside. That's when I realized these funny little things weren't just quirks, they were signs. Gentle, persistent signals that she was fading in small ways. Not all at once, just shifting. And I also realized something else. Caring for an aging loved one isn't just about food, medication, or appointments. It's a journey, sometimes long, sometimes exhausting, but full of opportunities to learn patience, gentleness, and deep listening. Listening not just to what they say, but what they don't. And in between the smiles, I started to treasure each day I still got to help her look for the remote, or hear her tell the same story for the third time. Because one day, those might be the memories I'll cherish the most. At first, I thought I had to be strict. Everything by the clock. Meals, medication, rest. Like one small mistake would make her memory rewind itself. But the stricter I got, the more confused she seemed, and I got more tired. Then one day I tried something different. Instead of saying, "Time for your medicine, Grandma," I joked, "Today's pill is your ticket to a special quiz round. Take it, and you get to guess what day it is." She looked puzzled for a second, then burst out laughing, and took her medicine without a second thought. That was when I learned something important. Not everything has to be serious. A light laugh, a silly game, a playful line, sometimes they're the invisible medicine that works better than the real stuff. And those annoying little things, like searching for remotes or hearing the same question again and again, turned out to be tiny stories. Moments that might feel tiring now, but later, when she's gone, they'll be the memories I'll want to tell my own kids. Not with a sigh, but with a smile. Each time I retell these funny little stories about Grandma, I feel like I'm holding on to a treasure. Not gold or jewels, but memories. The kind that smell like old houses and warm tea. And I know there are millions of people out there just like me, caring for a parent, a grandparent, a loved one. Each of us doing our best, each in our own way. Some days are full of love, some are just plain hard. But all of us have stories. Sweet, silly, frustrating, or touching. That's why I started this YouTube channel. Not to teach big lessons, just to tell real stories. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, confused, or just plain tired, maybe my stories will remind you, you're not alone. And maybe being able to laugh even when it's hard, that's a kind of skill too. If you've had a funny, weird, or heartwarming moment while caring for a loved one, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Maybe I'm not just telling my story, maybe I'm telling yours too. And if this video warmed your heart, made you smile, or reminded you of someone, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's walking the same path. Because sometimes, all it takes is a small story to soften a long, hard day. Thanks for listening, and if Grandma asks me again tomorrow where the remote is, you bet I'll be back here telling that story too. See you in the next video.